on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're continuing with our 32-team 7-round mock draft series for the 2020 NFL Draft. It's always the most awkward mock draft that we could do, and that is the Dallas Cowboys, because I need to be, when all is said and done, happy with a mock draft for the Dallas Cowboys, and I want them to have the worst draft every single year. And oddly enough, over the last couple of years, I've actually probably liked, on paper, at the time of when I do my draft recap, throwing up some grades, I think I've been giving Dallas better grades than the Eagles more often than not the last couple of years. I really do like the draft board they've been kind of building up, and I think it continues this year. I really do like the first 4 picks. But before we get to that point, through the power of Bound 20, we kind of need to look at where this roster is at and what holes they have that we need to try to assess and address during the draft. So looking at the offense here, we got Dak Prescott still looking for a long-term deal, but he's there. He's still in the building. Got that franchise tag. Ezekiel Elliott getting paid ridiculous money. Today's NFL, sadly, there's probably, let's be honest, no real way to justify a super expensive running back. But they got one in Zeke. I really like Tony Pollard, and that's just more so how well he's played for us in Madden. But, that's a debate. Either way, this is what they have, and the running back room is always healthy, and it's very dangerous. They got Amari Cooper. They re-signed him, ridiculous money. I'm happy. All I'm going to say is this. He burns the Eagles, which is annoying. I don't really have a whole lot of room to critique Amari Cooper. But let's be honest, doesn't play very good on the road, and locking in a guy $100 million for a wide receiver that's a good, maybe great, but not elite wide receiver to elite wide receiver money. It's the nature of the beast, but I'm kind of happy from the outside looking in that Dallas Cowboys are going to have some pretty bad salary cap decisions to make over the next couple of years. Michael Gallup looks like another beast, which is, they got healthy. Their skill position players outside of the tight end spot are pretty damn good. They have a great supporting cast for Dak Prescott, which is a big reason why he's so damn successful. Looking at the offensive line, Tyron Smith is solid. We got Zach Martin, one of the best guards in football. Lael Collins had a breakout year last season. Need to probably work a little bit here. They're not going to give up on Connor Williams, but they absolutely need a center after Travis Frederick announced his retirement, which, don't worry, have them getting one in the draft. Flipping to the defense. Things are less stable, I guess you could say, on the defensive side of things. They got a couple new faces here on the defensive line. Tank Lawrence, Crawford, familiar faces, but they got Gerald McCoy and Don Terry Poe on the inside. That's a great vote of confidence for Tristan Hill, who they burned a second-round pick on last year at the center floor, which I thought was one of the biggest reaches of the draft. Yeah, I can compliment the draft, but I also can come back and critique it. The linebacker core is good as long as Van Der Esch can stay healthy. Healthy. Availability is the biggest question here. Because Van Der Esch, Jalen Smith, and Sean Lee, if they're all healthy, they're all on the field at the same time, that's a pretty damn good linebacking core. But when is that going to happen again? You don't know. So it definitely could go a long way adding linebacker depth here for the Dallas Cowboys. At safety, you got Xavier Woods, who's, average. They got Clinton Dix, who I think has more name value than actual substance at this point. There's a reason why at 26, 27, he's bounced around the league so much. He was on Washington, he was on Green Bay, it's on Chicago. Now he's here with Dallas. There's a reason why, man. I think he's one of those guys a little bit overhyped. And I definitely think if you're Dallas, probably should look at getting a safety or two in this draft because there's not a lot of stability there. Secondary, no more Byron Jones. He took a big payday to go down to Miami. I still like Awuzie. He's solid. You got Jordan Lewis, solid. Anthony Brown got himself a brand new contract. He's fairly solid. So no, I don't think they're gonna have an all-world put me out in an island type corner, but the depth here is nice, but again, another position I think they could definitely dip their toes in to the draft by adding in a cornerback, in specifics, one that could play outside on the boundary. So we've kind of laid the groundwork here for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, without further ado, let's get into this 7-round mock draft. So Dallas is on the clock here now for our mock draft at pick 17. Always maybe the weirdest mock draft to do. Even more so than the Giants, even more so than the Redskins. And the thing that's been annoying is that I've actually liked the last 2 years the Dallas Cowboys draft, maybe even more so on paper than the Philadelphia Eagles. So with that in mind, I do like this draft. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other 7 picks are players I rate fairly highly. So without further ado, at pick 17, I was selecting A.J. Epinesa, defensive end from Iowa. 6'5", 275 pounds. After a lackluster combine, 504, 17 reps on the bench press. I think the bench press was a little bit more eye-opening for me. Even a guy with long arms, he's a power rusher, right? And I was expecting to see a little bit more pop there. But outside of the gym, I feel like that kind of did knock Epinesa, who kind of came into this draft process as a legit top 10 pick. I think he still could potentially go there, but for my mock, he did slide down to 17. But he's great value for the Dallas Cowboys and should be a long-term partner with Tank Lawrence on the defensive line. A terrific power rusher with a high floor. AJ could start sooner than later in his rookie season. Looking at his career at Iowa, 36.5 TFLs, 26.5 sacks, 9 forced fumbles. The production is there. The power rush is there. The length is there. Like I said, he has a very, very high floor. There's no way he is going to be a bad pro. He just might not ever develop into a perennial all-pro. You might not be getting, DeMarcus Ware type production of him, but I think he's going to be a really, really solid player, and Dallas are getting great value and getting a guy of Epeneza's safety of a first-round pick at pick 17. Going to the second round at pick 51, I have Dallas selecting Cole Kmet, tight end from Notre Dame, 6'5", 260. They need to find stability at that tight end spot, for sure. Even bringing Jason Witten back, that just screamed panic. We don't know what to do. We're still mad that Philadelphia traded ahead of us a couple years ago to draft Dallas Goedert. Kmet is a prototypical tight end, brings ideal size, who offers something immediately as a receiver and a blocker. Had a little bit of a breakout year last year at Notre Dame, 43 catches, 500 yards, and 6 touchdowns. And honestly, he should win the tight end 1 job immediately. Looking at the tight ends on the roster, you got Blake Jarwin, Dalton Schultz, Blake Bell. It's not good. That's his average of a tight end room at best as there is in the NFL. But getting a guy like Cole Kmet, who could very well be the best tight end from this draft class, getting out in the second round. Again, his tight end is not a strong position. There's not a lot of depth to it, but I think that's solid value there for the Dallas Cowboys, getting 2 guys immediately that could potentially start. Going in the third round, continuing with that trend of guys I think will start day 1 as rookies. At pick 82, I'm selecting Matt Hennessy, center from Temple, 6'3", 310. This became even more evident with Travis Frederick retiring. Not going to say it was a surprising retirement because he had, I can't remember the name of the disease, but hopefully he can, I don't know if he's beat. I don't know what's going on, but he had some sort of disease off the field, which is kind of sucks. Even though I'm an Eagles fan and I hate Dallas, he's a good, really good player, and now he's not going to be on the field anymore. But either way, Dallas needs a pro-ready starter to replace it because it's not going to be Joe Looney, and I think you can get that with Matt Hennessy. He's a good athlete that can get to the second level, kind of like Jason Kelce in a way. Not nearly as good an athlete, Jason Kelce, but stylistically more of a Kelce-type fit than a Travis Frederick, who was a little bit better on the power side of things. But I think he should win the starting job in training camp in Matt Hennessy, and that is 3 picks, 1, 2, and 3. That are going to be brand new starters for that Dallas Cowboy team, and hitting on rookies that can start right away with the big money that they've invested in Amari Cooper, that they're going to invest in Dak Prescott, all those guys in the defense. I think it's a great investment. Going to the 4th round, pick 123. Going back to Temple. Going to Philly. Back-to-back Philly. I'm selecting Harrison Hand. Cornerback from Temple, 5'11", 200 pounds. A very, very aggressive zone corner that helped himself with a nice combine. 4'5", 41-inch vertical. Fits the build of a Dallas Cowboy corner. Dallas Cowboy corners go for the shiftier, more athletic guys than guys that are really long, really lengthy, really lanky, can put that press coverage. Look at that. You got Anthony Brown, athletic and shorter. Chidobe Awuzie, under 6 feet tall, athletic. Jordan Lewis, under 6 feet tall, fairly athletic. They just got Kennedy from Baltimore, I think. Short. That's what they're looking for. And you get that again with a Harrison Hand. He might not be Byron Jones' replacement, but he's a solid boundary corner with upside that I think is worth it to a team, to a unit that is definitely going to be looking to try to redefine their identity here after losing Byron Jones. Going to the 5th round at pick 164, I'm selecting Kenny Robinson, safety from West Virginia, 6'1", 205 pounds. He went to the XFL. I think I read a report that it was academics kind of sucked, and there's some other off-the-field things. That's why he bounced, went to the XFL. Actually couldn't find any tape of him in the XFL, which was kind of weird, but I had him in my draft classes and my draft notes from 2 years ago because he was a ball hawk at West Virginia. In 2 years at West Virginia, 120 tackles, 14 pass breakups, and 7 interceptions. He brings great ideal length. I think he can play free safety. He might be able to give you some nickel reps. And I think that he can start sooner than later. You look at the safety room for these Dallas Cowboys. You got Xavier Woods, the 5th-round pick. You got HaHa Clinton-Dix on a 1-year deal. There is not a lot of stability. There's not a lot of proven starting ability there for Dallas. HaHa Clinton-Dix, at this point in his career, is more of a name value, more thinking of the big years that he had with the Green Bay Packers than what he's actually been putting on the field because he's bounced around. He was with the Bears. He was with the Reds. Like, how many teams has this guy been with? That's kind of, he's not as good as he once was. He might be a solid player. He might be a starter for Dallas. But I still think you need to add more bodies in that room. And this is not the last safety I had them taking in my mock draft. I think Kenny Robinson, XFL, people are going to see that. Maybe he's going to slip on the radar, but I think he's a really, really good safety and one of the better value picks at the safety spot. Moving on to their second 5th round pick at 179, I have them selecting Leki Fotu, defensive tackle from Utah, 6'5", 330 pounds, a nose tackle who will add some youth inside with Tristan Hill to a defensive line that is getting kind of old. The projected starters are going to be Gerald McCoy and Dontari Poe, both guys, 30, downswing of their careers. Kind of weird that they signed both those guys after burning a 2nd round pick on what I thought was one of the bigger reaches in the draft in Tristan Hill in 2019 out of Central Florida. But Fotu is really, really good value. Nose tackles generally tend to slip in drafts. It's just the nature of the beast. Guys that affect the run and eat blocks aren't going to be as big as guys and drafted as high as guys that, get sacks, put pressure on quarterbacks. But Fotu is going to be a guy that's going to eat blocks. He's going to eat double teams, and he's going to make the life of DeMarcus Lawrence, of Epineza if they draft him, of Gerald McCoy, whoever he's paired up with, Tristan Hill long term. He's going to make their lives a lot easier. He does the ugly things right. I think in the 5th round, that is very, very nice pick for the Dallas Cowboys. Again, that needs to get younger inside on that defensive line. And then finishing up here in the 7th round of pick 231, I was selecting Brandon Jones, safety from Texas, 5'11", 200 pounds, a good athlete who brings solid tackling ability, 86 tackles in 2019 for the Longhorns. Very aggressive nature. I think he's going to immediately offer some special teams ability. Should easily make the 53 for the Dallas Cowboys, considering they only have 2 solid safeties on the roster, maybe 3, depending on how you rate Darian Thompson. I just think more so with Brandon Jones. Brandon Jones is a guy that I'm not as high on. I'm seeing most people have him going 5th round, 4th round, something like that. I just don't see it. I do not see anything plus in the coverage standpoint. I think he has good speed. He can, if he messes up with coverage, he can sometimes catch a player from behind. But I think more so you're going to be getting a special teams ace, which is what you're kind of lost in Jeff Heath a little bit. Jeff Heath, versatile guy, did a little kicking here and there, but more so kind of made the roster and was his strength was as a special teamer. I think you're going to be able to get that right away as a replacement in Brandon Jones. So there you go, guys. That is my 7th-round mock draft here for the Dallas Cowboys. We got through it. It's a little bit weird, but we did it. Let me know how you feel about it in the comment section below. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed. Until next time, it's C4 saying peace